On this episode of the Whiskey Tornado, we not only review Weller C.Y.P.B, but we do a full Weller blind tasting. What's up, everybody, and welcome back to another episode of the Whiskey Tornado. I'm your host, Lance. Today, we are reviewing a unicorn. I don't often review unicorns, but since I've got this bottle, everybody's asking me, how is it? How's it compare to last year's releases? And it's a bottle that, as some of you know, goes for about $50 MSRP, but it's impossible to find. And I've seen this thing over $1,000 on secondary, which is absolutely insane. So we're going to review it today. We're going to give it the Whiskey Tornado score. And then I've got the full line of Weller products. We're going to put it in that line blind, and we're going to find out which Weller comes out on top. For those of you that don't know what this unicorn bottle is, this is a piece of marketing genius from Buffalo Trace. The C.Y.P.B stands for Craft Your Perfect Bourbon. So basically, Buffalo Trace just went to their customers and asked them to kind of craft their favorite bourbon. So this is a wheated bourbon, as are all Weller products. It's aged on the highest floors of the rick houses. It's 8 years old and it's 95 proof. Now, according to the information they gathered, this is the perfect bourbon according to Buffalo Trace customers. For those of you new to the Whiskey Tornado, I'll quickly explain our scoring system. I have 7 categories. We rate those 0 to 1, 0.5 being average. We have 2 weighted categories, and that is appearance and availability. Then we rate the nose, palate, finish, body, and value. We add all those scores up. Any score of 3 or better is bar worthy. Any score of 4 or better is bunkersome, just in case one of your favorite bourbons is no longer made. All right, guys, with all that being said, let's get into the appearance of Weller C.Y.P.B. Of all the Weller bottles, this one is my favorite, guys. The white screams premium. I love it. It looks fancy. It's so funny to me how some Weller bottles can look cheap and some can look super fancy. This one looks fancy. In fact, when I brought it home and I took it out of the bag, my daughter said, "Whoa, what's that fancy bottle?" She instantly thought that it looked fancy. And it does. It screams premium. I really love it. I'm going to give it a 0.8. All right, as far as availability goes, this is an impossible bottle to find. It's a unicorn. It's a bottle everybody's chasing. It's a highly allocated bottle. I got super lucky and got a call on this bottle, and I'm super thankful that I was able to pick it up for $50 because in all the years I've been into bourbon, I've never seen this bottle. So for me to get my hands on it was great, which is why I had to review it for you guys. It would normally be a 0, but since I did get a call on it, I'm going to have to give it a 0.1. All right, let's move on to the good stuff. Let's talk about the nose on this. The nose is really beautiful, guys. I'm telling you, when I got this bottle, I wanted to hate it. I thought I was going to hate it. I thought I was going to be severely let down. And I was shocked, to be honest with you, that I liked it as much as I do. But the nose is so good. It screams Buffalo Trace. It's got that like candy sweetness, that like grape slash cherry kind of candy note to it. Almost, actually, it's exactly like if you open up a box of Nerds candies. You guys ever had those Nerds, those little Nerds candies? Open up a box of those, the grape and maybe it's strawberry ones. Stick your nose in that, and it's very, very similar. Really nice, tons of sweetness, candy sweetness. There's a little bit of caramel there, but the like overwhelming note on the nose for me is that like Nerds candy. I absolutely love the nose on this. I'm going to give it a 0.8. All right, moving on to the palate. Cheers, everybody. First sip there. This is my first sip of the day. I got a little bit of oak sweetness. That candy sweetness definitely came through. Grape note, like my first inclination, the first thing this reminds me of, honestly, is like a really good bottle of Eagle Rare. Let me take another sip. Oh, that candy sweetness, man. Gosh, I'm telling you guys, I wanted to not like this bottle. I would have bet my house that I was going to be severely let down. I'm getting a big finish too. I got a bottle of Weller Single Barrel, and it's probably one of the biggest letdown bottles I've had. And I just kind of assumed this was going to be the same, especially from the reviews and people I've heard talk about this. I think it gets such a bad rap because the prices on secondary are so insane. Like, you can't get this bottle for under $600, and most of the time it's close to $1,000. And this bottle being more than George T. Stagg on secondary is absolutely ridiculous. So I'm not evaluating it on that. I'm evaluating it on what I got it at MSRP, which I know most people aren't going to be able to. But I thought it was really important for me to review this bottle for you guys so you can decide whether to hunt it or not. Because I honestly didn't know. I expected to be let down, and it's really nice. It's a really good bourbon, in my opinion, at $50. Let me take another sip here. Yeah, that is that like grape and cherry strawberry Nerds. Like if you just put a handful of them in your mouth, that's what I get. As you keep drinking it, it becomes more and more crushable. The oak kind of goes away, and the sweetness really like is elevated. There is some nice barrel spice on that first and second sip, but as you get going, it just gets sweeter and sweeter, and that barrel spice kind of goes away. It just becomes super crushable. I really like the palate on this. There's one thing I don't like in the finish, but we'll get to that. The palate I really like. It's better than average. I'm going to give it a 0.7. Okay, let's go on to the finish, guys. It's got a good finish to it. For being 95 proof, you get that nice barrel spice. The finish is long. You don't have to go back to it super fast like I did on the Weller Single Barrel, which is what I didn't like. This has sticks with you a little bit more. The only thing that I don't like about this is it is very tannic and drying. And that could be because it's on those higher floors and it's 8 years old. But it's just a little bit more drying than what you would get in like Eagle Rare or other Buffalo Trace products. Kind of zaps your palate pretty quickly. If it wasn't for that, the finish on this would be a 0.7, maybe even a 0.8. But I do not like when I get tannic drying notes and it zaps my palate. So I'm going to have to ding it. And we're going to bring it down to a 0.6. It's better than average, but that drying tannic note on the back end is really hurting it for me, and so I'm going to give it a 0.6. All right, moving on to the body. You know, for 95 proof, it's good. It's got some weight to it. It doesn't feel super thin, but it is 95 proof. We're going to give it just barely better than average. We're going to give it a 0.6. All right, let's talk about value for a second on this. You know, value is such a hard category when you're trying to talk about an allocated unicorn bottle. Now, I got this bottle for $50 MSRP, and I realized that is extremely rare. I got really lucky. Most people, if you're going to see this on the shelves, it's going to be 600 plus, probably closer to 800, which is absolutely insane. If you're buying this for even $100 plus, the value I would rate as a 0. If you're getting it at 50, I would say that the value is about average. What's in the bottle is really good. I'm super happy with what I got for $50. What would I pay max for this? Maybe, well, see, this is another hard category because you could buy this bottle for $300-400 and easily flip it and make money. I don't do secondary. I just buy stuff that I get calls from managers on. You know, occasionally I might trade something on secondary if I have an extra bottle, but I try to open everything I have and share it with people. And that's why as soon as I got this home, I know I could sell this for $700-800 and make a lot of money, but I open it and make sure that I share it with my friends because that's what bourbon's about. So, and when we're talking about value, for $50, I think it's a good value. It's about an average value. When you're talking, you can get Rare Breed and, Elijah Craig, Barrel Proof, around that same price point, and it's got more age and more proof. But I don't always like to judge value by age and proof either. Just like what's in the bottle. Is it really good whiskey? And some lower proof whiskey can be really good whiskey. It doesn't always have to be higher proof and always have a lot of age on it. I will say this tastes a little bit older than it is because of those tannic drying notes, but what's in the bottle for $50 is worth every penny. So, but it's not an insane value either. I'm going to give it a 0.5 if you buy it for $50. If you buy it for $100 or more, it's a 0 on value. All right, guys, so that brings our overall score for Weller C.Y.P.B to a 3.65, making it bar worthy. Now, again, as you pay more, the score goes down, and it could be not bar worthy depending on how much you want to spend on this bottle. Let's really find out what the value of this is and put it in a blind taste test against all the other Weller products. All right, everybody, we are back. I have 5 bourbons here from Weller. It's not often that you get to do an entire Weller flight, so I feel super lucky to do that. I'm glad I can provide you guys with this content. Let's see which Weller is best, in my opinion, on this particular day. Of course, all this is subjective. You guys know that, but let's see what we've got here. My wife mixed these up, so I don't know what they are. Very Buffalo Trace on number 1. I'll put these in post. Number 1, a little bitter. I just got through drinking the C.Y.P.B and did the review. That one tastes a little bitter to me compared to that. Not bad, but it's not knocking my socks off. But it had a lot of those typical Buffalo Trace notes, not so prominent on the candy sweetness. Let's go to B. Oh, B is nice. Super sweet, super rounded, caramel, vanilla, nice sweet oak. I liked B a lot. The dryness is coming in a little bit, but that was really nice. Okay, moving on to C. Ooh. C smells a little bit higher proof to me. And it definitely is. C is just like caramel. Lots of caramel. The volume's turned up on it. If I had to guess, that's the full proof. And I'll be honest, I liked B better than C. Just felt more rounded, more cohesive. C is just like a big punch of dense flavor. But it's so packed full that there's not a lot of nuance to it, or you can't taste the nuance to it. It's just more like dense flavors, and caramel and oak were kind of the only things I was getting there. All right, moving on to D. D smells really nice. D has got that Buffalo Trace candy sweetness, that kind of nerds. And it is drying. I don't know if that's the C.Y.P.B, but it could be. It could be. Let's see. That was really nice. I like that. I like I like B and D better than C. So let's go to D here. Whoa. That's the outlier. That has a lot more punch. A little bit of cherries. That was kind of hot. That might be the 107. Interesting. All right. I think just that quick pass, I think I've got B and D in the lead. And these last, I think A is probably last place for me right now. I think that I like B the best. And I know it's not the highest proof, but I'm getting the most complexity out of it. It feels the most rounded. It feels the most put together. Really crushable, whatever B is. Beautiful whiskey. It's probably going to be the single barrel because I'm always saying that was the biggest letdown. That's probably what's going to happen. All right, so I'm going to put B in first place. They're all beautiful whiskeys. That time A tasted really nice. I think I'm going to go C then, E, and A last. All right, that's my order. Now, I could switch these around. Again, I think my palate's kind of blown out there at the end, so that's interesting. But if I had to guess, if I put B in first, I'm guessing B is the 12. But since I put it in first, probably the single barrel, which I told you guys is a disappointment, but we'll see. Oh, my gosh. Awesome. Well, guys, my first place is the C.Y.P.B. That is just, it's beautiful compared to the rest of these. I am shocked. I wanted that bottle to not be good. Dang it. It's really good. I like it. I really like it. I didn't catch the tannic notes that I was getting in the review on it. It just tasted really balanced, nice weight, good sweetness, good oak presence. Yeah, wow. That's really good. It's worth more than $50, but it's not worth $800. All right, we're going to B, or B is my second place. Let's see what that is. I think it's the full proof. It is. Full proof is second. I'm really interested for these last three. In third place is the single barrel. Wow, that's the one I thought that would place last in this, and I like it. Okay. And next to last, I think this is the 107. It is 107, which means last place for me is Weller 12. So there you go, guys. That's my ranking. C.Y.P.B. in a blind took first place for me, followed by Full Proof, followed by the single barrel, then 107. It's just crazy. You guys got to do these blind so you know what you like best, because going into this, I thought C.Y.P.B. was completely overrated, and I wouldn't like it, and I love it. So who knew? Taste them for yourselves, guys. Hope you enjoyed this review. Until next time, I'm going to take this C.Y.P.B. Cheers, everybody.